I would have been excited about the Frisco Bowl this year if Ohio Bobcats had not decided to court some controversy. Now, unless you're a fan of the Ohio Bobcats, you may not know about this controversy, but the Frisco Bowl has, with UNLV, probably one of the top 10 most dangerous G5 programs out there. With Dan Mullen as the head coach, with them having the money that is going into the program, which could mean that they could draw some interesting recruits and some interesting transfer portal bring ins. Dan Mullen could turn UNLV into a powerhouse that will make the power conferences afraid. The power conferences are already afraid of scheduling anybody but their own. So UNLV, I don't see any downside with them at this moment. The Ohio Bobcats have been a really good program for a while. They're a MAC school. They don't need these 5-star recruits coming in. They don't need all of these massive paydays going out. They just get some good old boys from the Ohio, Pennsylvania, that region. They put them on a team and they just play smash mouth football. Now, the controversy's coming in because they just had an 8-4 season that, in all honesty, they shouldn't have lost at Rutgers. It was a 34-31 game. That could have gone either way if certain plays had gone correctly. They beat West Virginia when West Virginia came to visit them 17-10. Ohio State beat them, but the defense of Ohio Bobcats kept them to 37. Then they lost to Ball State. That one was a heartbreaker, 20-14. And they lost to Western Michigan, who is now the MAC Conference champion. Everybody else, hey, they beat Miami of Ohio. They've been playing good football. But for some reason, unexpectedly, they put the head coach that they had not signed a contract with, Brian Smith, he was put on leave. They're not saying that he did anything wrong. Nobody has said he's done anything wrong, but they put him on leave. There are news reports saying that this is over the contract and that they could get out of having to pay him his final $250,000. So the interim head coach going into it is the defensive coordinator, John Hauser. Now, John Hauser is a MAC person through and through. He played as a free safety for Ball State, played for Wittenberg, a Division III school. He's coached at Wittenberg, Northern Illinois, Wayne State, Illinois. He was director of player personnel there. He's been a defensive coach the entire time. He's coached at Citadel, Miami of Ohio, and Ohio. He was brought in under Tim Albin. This is going to be an interesting game for them. And so we're going to cover this game because I want to see, because the defense was doing really good this year. We're going to take a look at this now. Before we get into the crux of this video, hit like, hit subscribe if you like college sports, because I do college sports, primarily college football, college women's gymnastics. Do a little basketball and other sports on occasion, but that's what I do, college. Also, General Robert Neyland, former University of Tennessee head football coach for decades, had 7 maxims to win any game, but they can also help you if you apply them correctly to your life. The second one is play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That is a maxim that can be also applied to your life. Look for those breaks and take it. Now we're going to start with the Ohio Bobcats. Parker Navarro, who, hey, this guy has done some amazing things at Ohio. He started out his career at UCF, but well, Central Florida, but now he's at Ohio, been there. This is probably his final season. He's 177 of 288, 61.5% completion rate. Okay numbers. 2,232 yards through the air, has thrown 14 touchdowns, but has had 10 interceptions. He's been sacked 22 times. So this offensive line is a little eh. Now, on the rushing side, don't have a lot of guys rushing, but Steve Bangura, this dude, 222 carries, 1,243 yards, would have been higher most likely if he had had a better offensive line. 14 touchdowns. Parker Navarro, 148 carries, 843 yards, 8 touchdowns. Duncan Brune, 112 carries, 561 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's got a 66-yard breakout. They got 30 touchdowns on the ground. That's doing some work right there. Now, they're 14 through the air. Chase Hendricks, favorite of Navarro, 67 catches, 950 yards, 67-yard long run, 7 touchdowns. Rodney Harris, 27 catches, 388 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mason Williams, 25 catches, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jake Bruno, a tight end, 8 catches, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns for their 14 through the air. Now, let's take a look at their defense. They got 20 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. That's kind of weak numbers. 32 pass deflections, 11 interceptions. That's a good pass defense right there. That's a really good pass defense right there. 1 touchdown off an interception, 4 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries. I'm taking a look at this. This is not solid numbers, but Ohio's been doing really good. Jalen Thompson, safety, 80 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. You know, having the safeties come up this much, I'm starting to re-examine. I had been saying, hey, that's a weak sign, but listening to what Jim Knowles is doing, now I'm understanding why. Adonis Williams, another safety, 75 tackles, 1 pass deflection. Michael Molnar, linebacker, 62 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 3 pass deflections. Charlie Christopher, another linebacker, 56 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Oh, and by the way, Jalen Thomason had a touchdown off the fumble recovery. Penalty-wise, you're looking at 75 penalties for 578 for the season. Not horrible. They're kind of disciplined. But I'm looking at this. Their offensive line, not very good. They're averaging, with the backup quarterback, they've got 24 sacks on their quarterbacks. Even with a rushing quarterback, 24 sacks, 2 sacks a game. You know, okay, fine, but still, that's kind of weak. Their rush game is hurt by their offensive line because Parker Navarro having to rush like he is, that's changing up the dynamic of the game. But Chase Hendricks is a really, I mean, you take a look at the receiving core. Hey, these guys aren't doing too badly, but it's not to mention you have a weak offensive line, you're going to get more interceptions. The defense is not a MAC defense, in my opinion. It's kind of weak. Now let's look at the Rebels. They went 10-3 this year. Anthony Calendra, who a lot of people have been talking about, 256 of 387, 3,275 yards through the air, 66.2 completion rate, 23 touchdowns through the air, 8 interceptions. He's been sacked 24 times. Another offensive line that's a little weak. Now, when you're looking at rushing, Jaden Thomas, 137 carries, 985 yards, 70-yard long run, 12 touchdowns. Anthony Calendra, 118 of 621, got 9 touchdowns. Kevon Lee, 96 carries, 433 yards, 6 touchdowns. Jalen Glover, 62 for 379, got a touchdown. JoJo Earls got 2 touchdowns. Got a couple other guys. They got 32 touchdowns on the ground. Jaden Bradley on the receiving side got 54 catches, 869 yards. Got a 56-yard long run, 4 touchdowns. Troy Omer, 30 catches, 505 yards, 68-yard long run, 5 touchdowns. Dejon Reynolds, 32 for 470, 86-yard long run, 5 touchdowns. Tayshawn Lyons, 13 catches, 222 yards, 72-yard long run, got 3 touchdowns. Barkeys Gums, 11 catches, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nick Elksness, 10 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a couple other guys got touchdowns for their 24 through the air. This offense knows how to do explosiveness. They need a better offensive line, but man. Now, they got 29 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. Still a little weak, but that's still good defense. 42 pass deflections, 13 interceptions, 3 touchdowns from that. This team has a pass defense. They also show they can get to the opposing quarterback a little bit. Oh, and by the way, they've got 7 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries. Not bad numbers for a G5 and also first year of Dan Mullen. Marcel McDuffie's got 103 tackles. I don't like that when you've got one guy that's got that many tackles. 2 sacks, 3 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. Jake Pope, 78 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, 1 interception. Jaheim Joseph, safety, 66 tackles, 3.5 sacks. I still don't like that part of it. I will admit I don't like that your safeties are coming up for a sack. 3 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. Andrew Powdrell, 59 tackles, 5 pass deflections. They've got a decent defense. You know, this is a Dan Mullen team, and they're showing it. Amaris Brown has got 4 interceptions. Penalties, 102 for 887. No discipline on this team whatsoever. You should not have 102 penalties. I don't care. Now, Anthony Kalender came over from Virginia, and he's showing what he can do. Alex Orji was a big-time name that came over from Michigan, was there for 3 years. They didn't keep him. I understand why, but he still, did what he could do for Michigan. Jet Thomas, hey, this man is legit. No joke. This guy is not getting enough, and he's UNLV. He's been UNLV the entire time. People aren't paying attention to Jet Thomas. This man is scary. This team is a total package team. This is why I say they're one of the 10 scariest programs in G5 football. I'm looking at these two teams. Ohio is just a good, solid MAC team. They smash you. They can beat Power 4 teams. So can UNLV. I mean, you take a look at, UNLV lost to Boise twice, and they lost to a good Jason X coached New Mexico. But they beat UCLA, they beat Miami of Ohio, beat Sam Houston, beat Idaho State. This is a team, beat Hawaii. This is a good, solid, these are 2 good, solid teams. The problem is that the Ohio Bobcats are playing games with their coaches. After Tim Albin left, I guess they realized that even though they had a good, solid coaching core, they had folks that were carrying on Tim Albin's push. They wanted more. I think they picked the wrong time to do this. I think that they're trying to get a little bit better of a situation. I don't think they can do that. UNLV should win this game. They can score. Yeah, their offensive line's could be a little bit better, but their defense is bringing some solid numbers. Ohio is a solid team. This is not going to be Ohio getting run over by UNLV. It shouldn't be. Why? Because UNLV has to deal with Ohio is going to smash them in the mouth often in this game. Going to be a good old-fashioned fight. Dan Mullen is going to feel like he's coaching an SEC game again in this one. Why? Because Ohio, even though they're having a coaching controversy right now, they're still Ohio. The Bobcats, they go to win every game. And they've got a defense that can prove that they can win any game that they're in. Their offense, not so much. That's where UNLV, with a solid defense, not an amazing one, but a solid one, and a really good offense, is going to show them up. But UNLV is going to have to deal with the fact that they're going to be hit hard and they're going to be hit often. Once they get past that thought process, the Rebels, I don't think we'll have a problem at all in the Frisco Bowl. This has been Paul to Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day. Hey, that's my video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And comment. Don't forget that either. Hey, this has been Paul with
Artlist.io.
Redneck Thinker Media. I do sports, I do politics. Hit like, subscribe. And y'all, this has been Paul. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.